Hey, this is the World Advice Channel 2. What I want to talk about today is the main reason why black businesses fail. So for this good video, I'm going to discuss the main reason why our businesses tend to fail so we can what we can do in order to make sure that they don't fail. So we can be on a path to having a much better, happier future. So now I mentioned that, let's get started. So when it comes to the question of what we as black people can do, I mean, or I should say for that matter, you know, what to avoid doing in order to make sure that, of course, our business do not fail is simply the truth of the matter is to make sure that we do not overcharge things because overcharging things is the main reason why black businesses fail. Because the truth of the matter is, when it comes to black businesses, out of all the things that they tend to do in general, whether it could be a sedentary occupation or occupation that comes to you, like a sedentary one would mean like something like you go to them, like it's a store or convenience store or something, or it could be one where you go to them, like it could be a place where obviously, like you might be a pooler, you might clean people's pools, or you might be someone who, for example, you know, cleans cleans someone's chimney, I don't know, whatever. You go to them for that matter, okay? Or even a carpenter or roofer or whatever, for that matter. The truth of the matter is, aside from those things like not showing up on time or whatever for that matter, the main reason why we fail is because we overcharge things for the services. The black community, at least, overcharges everything for what they do for the services, and that's the main reason why they do not succeed, because they overcharge things. Now, when it comes to obviously preventing overcharging things, the first thing we have to realize is get to the root of what causes overcharging. What causes overcharging in the first place is simply down to the fact of the matter that overcharging tends to be caused by, um, for that matter, it's usually caused by, you know, by obviously not making enough revenue. If people don't make enough revenue, then they obviously have to make up for the money that they're not gaining, and stuff. And obviously, charging things at a higher price is obviously something that they need to do as a result. So the truth of the matter is that is the reason um, why black businesses overcharge. But if you are more organized and you plan things out better, then you will not have to overcharge things. Because the things, when it comes to understanding how to avoid having to overcharge things, the best thing to keep in mind is simply down to the fact that you need to be more willing to figure out strategies and tips and so on and so forth to avoid overcharging. Like, for example, having better promotion skills, like, for example, putting out flyers for places, for people, and so on and so forth, and not just having better promotion skills, like learning how to promote things and so on and so forth for that matter. To be quite honest with you, the truth of the matter is, not only do you want to obviously do those things as well, you also want to keep in mind that aside from overcharging things for, for like, like obviously promotion, I should say, for that matter, you also have to learn how to come up with like deals. Like, for example, if like when it comes to something like deals for that matter, um, as anyone knows, people who tend to do deals usually tend to do it when they're not making enough money for something. So obviously, if you're not making a lot of money for something because no one's really buying this, you come up with deals in order to make sure that you don't have to throw it out. Okay, and that's where learning to be strategic comes in the mix. Okay, learning how to come deals. Like, for example, if you know there's a certain holiday coming up and people like to get a certain thing on a certain holiday, I'm probably going to sell a lot of those particular things at that period of time by um, obviously cutting off a huge percentage of what I sell at a regular price. Is it a gamble? Yes. Can you lose? Can it turn out people don't buy it? Yes. But the truth of the matter is, that's how business works. You have to be willing to take risks. You have to be willing to plan. Have to be willing to visualize, for that matter. And that's the truth of the matter. What black businesses do not do. Okay, and that's why they don't get anywhere. Why just about all of them pretty much fail. Now, unless of course it relates to, surprise, surprise, music or sports. Aside from that, everything else tends to fail because that type of shit happens all the time. So the truth of the matter is, for that matter, to be quite honest with you, we need people to start doing these things. Focus on promoting, like, and be strategic with it. Don't just randomly put out flyers to people you don't that might not give a fuck. You want to figure out, for example, what places do black people tend to usually live in, and how much flyers am I going to give out per day without avoiding people getting exhausted, and so on and so forth, for that matter. Okay, like, or to say exhausting the people who are doing um this job for you, giving out the flyers and stuff. So like you have to do that, and you have to know how to plan and organize. People always want a deal. And when you understand that fact, you're more likely to do better. Not to mention, surprise, surprise, when it comes to doing business, you also have to learn to compare yourself to other competition. What are they doing? How do I catch on to what they're going to do? And how do I obviously, as a result, make sure that I can find ways around what they're doing. Like if they, like I notice if they're saying, okay, we're gonna have a deal where we're gonna be selling maybe, for example, turkeys for $5 off, then I'm probably gonna say, okay, I have a lot of turkeys too. Why don't I sell this shit for like $10 off or something? Besides, I have a lot of turkeys, no one really bought them, so let's sell this stuff off. You see what I'm saying? You have to be strategic, and so once you're strategic and you have your mind in the skill, you will do a lot better. Besides, at the end of the day, when you set up a business, it ain't a joke, okay? Most businesses actually fail. And not just fail, the truth of the matter is they're also very expensive to run, okay? Everything from being able to purchase them to obviously having to pay back the bank loans and all that stuff when you fail, okay? When you set up a business, you have to be very, very, very in tune with what you're doing. And that's the truth of the matter is, when you have a business, if anything, the way you should look at it is that I put my mind, soul, and body into this business. So you take it very seriously. You put 100% effort into it. But a lot of black people don't do that stuff. They don't do that type of shit. They just waste their time just focusing on petty, silly things that don't matter. That's when they're running a business, for that matter, okay? When you want to run a business, you have to be organized. And you have to really put a lot of time and effort into it. If you don't do that, it's not going to succeed. The most they can say is, well, the white people overcharge us. Haven't you guys heard of reporting people? You can report people. Not to mention, even if they give you disadvantages, like anything in life, there's always disadvantages. There's always bullshit going on. It doesn't mean you can't find ways around it. And that's the truth of the matter. We need to stop overcharging things. And the quicker we start overcharging things, the quicker we can start having businesses that are successful. And the moment we start business successful, the moment we can start enjoying our lives and not have to go places like those Asian businesses where a lot of them are rude as hell anyway. So you don't have to go to them and have to worry about not having the right change or something, and then them snapping on you and being rude, and you don't even know if they even take good quality of the food anyway in a lot of their stores. I'm not saying all Asian business owners are like that, okay? But I know a lot of them are like that, particularly in the States. So if you start doing these things if you start doing things properly, you will quickly realize things are actually getting a lot better, okay? So that's the truth of the matter, okay? That's what we need in order to make sure our business succeed, okay? If we don't do that, then we're not going to see success. So anyway, this is all I have to say, and all I have to mention to continue on at this point. I hope you found this video interesting as well as informative. And just remember, if you like this video and videos like this, remember to thumb this video up and hit the subscribe button. And this is all I have to say. Simply put it, I'm out. So bye.